It's a Tuesday morning in late October, somewhere in East Tennessee. The coffee has been sitting since 6, and it smells like it. A woman called Nan is standing at the kitchen counter of her Barndominium, looking out at the back. The house is beautiful. She picked every detail. Her mother is here. Her daughter and the 2 grandkids moved in 8 months ago after the divorce, which was supposed to be temporary, which is what everyone said. 3 generations under one roof. The thing she had planned for. Nan has been awake for 35 minutes, and she's already had 3 conversations she did not want to have yet, and the day has not started. She isn't unhappy. The home does everything it was supposed to do on paper. She just doesn't understand why it feels like it is working against her. Her architect could have told her. He knew before the slab was poured. There are 2 shapes that define nearly every barndominium built in America today. One of them is designed around how buildings get constructed. The other is designed around how families actually live inside them. Most people build the first one. If you are in the planning phase of a barndominium right now, sketching layouts, comparing builder quotes, or lying awake at midnight with a floor plan on your phone, the shape decision is the one you cannot take back. Everything else is negotiable. Countertops, roof pitch, exterior finish. They are expensive to change, but they are changeable. The footprint? Once that slab is poured, that is the conversation you are living inside for the next 30 years. The American Institute of Architects. 2023 Home Design Trends. Survey found that for homeowners over 50, the 2 most important priorities in a new home are outdoor and indoor connection, and flexible space for multiple generations. Both are directly determined by the shape of the building before a single wall goes up. This is not an aesthetic decision. This is a living decision. For anyone who needs the 30-second version, an L-shaped barndominium has 2 wings meeting at a right angle. Efficient, relatively simple to build, and almost always less expensive. A U-shaped barndominium has 3 wings arranged around a central courtyard. More roofline, more material, more complexity, but also something fundamentally different happens in the space it creates in the middle. Both configurations work. Both get built beautifully. The question is not which one looks better on paper. It is which one actually works when Nan's mother, Nan's daughter, and Nan are all trying to start their morning at the same time. Before the criteria, and I want to do this properly, the case for L-shaped barndominiums is genuinely strong. It deserves a fair hearing before we take it apart. The cost advantage is real. A comparable L-shaped build runs $60,000 to $88,000 less than a U-shaped one on a $400,000 project. On most family budgets, that is not a rounding error. That is 2 years of property taxes. That is a paid-off truck. For a lot of families, that is the difference between building now and waiting another 3 years. The low T flexibility is real. Most rural parcels are not square. L-shapes work on narrower lots, corner lots, parcels with setback restrictions, or mature trees you do not want to lose. The 2-wing geometry adapts. A 3-wing configuration needs more room to breathe. The builder experience is real. The majority of barndominium contractors have built dozens of L-shaped homes. Far fewer have built U-shaped ones, and on a custom build, a contractor's familiarity with what they are constructing is not a small thing. It is the difference between a roofline that performs for 30 years and one that develops a problem in the 4th year. If you are building a 2-person home on a tight lot with a fixed budget and no near-term plans for extended family, the L-shape might genuinely be the right answer. I mean that. Here is what none of those reasons address, though. None of them answer the question of what happens when the family changes. And with the demographic that builds barndominiums, the family almost always changes. That is what the 5 criteria are about. Architects have a term for the way people move through space: desire lines. It is the path people actually take, as opposed to the path the floor plan intended. You have seen this outside, the worn diagonal track across a grass lawn where the sidewalk should have been. Nobody uses the sidewalk. People walk where they want to go. In an L-shaped home, the natural desire line is diagonal. From the sleeping wing to the kitchen, people cut through whatever you have placed in the center. In a two-person household on the same schedule, that is fine. In a multi-generational home, it creates what one Chicago-based residential architect described to me as the intersection problem. Everyone's daily paths converge at the same point, multiple times, before coffee. Here is how to feel this in your body, rather than just understand it intellectually. Think about your current home, wherever you live right now, and picture the path your feet take from your bedroom to your coffee maker at 6:45 in the morning. Now picture 3 other people with 3 different destinations taking their own versions of that path at the same time. In an L-shaped home, those paths cross. Christopher Alexander documented this in A Pattern Language in 1977, a book that, honestly, every person planning a custom home should have on their shelf. He called it the crossing path problem and argued that homes forcing family members through each other's primary routes create low-level daily friction that most families never name, but everyone feels. It accumulates slowly. It does not announce itself. It just makes the house feel smaller than it is. The U-shaped configuration solves this almost by accident. 3 wings, 3 territories. The courtyard at the center becomes the transition space. You pass through outdoor air to move from one part of the home to another, which means you are not moving through anyone's bedroom hallway at 6:45 in the morning. Nobody has to close a door to have territory. The territory exists structurally. Here is what I find genuinely strange about this. Desire lines are one of the first things a residential architect thinks about when evaluating a floor plan. They are also one of the last things a builder will mention in a sales consultation. Builders show you room counts, square footage, where the master suite is relative to the kitchen. The paths your family will actually walk every morning for the next 30 years, those are not on the brochure. Criterion 1, U-shaped. Both shapes create outdoor space. They do not create the same thing. An L-shaped home creates a corner. Walk out the back and you have a right angle of building behind you, opening outward toward your land. That sounds generous. It is not functionally, and this is the piece most people discover the hard way. Open outdoor space is not used by families. Enclosed outdoor space is. Picture this. It is a Saturday afternoon in May, 72 degrees, a light breeze. In an L-shaped barndominium, the outdoor space at the corner of the L is technically perfect. But the yard opens in 2 directions. The wind finds you, the neighbors can see across the fence line, the grandkids drift toward the tree line, someone has to go get them, and 40 minutes later, everyone has drifted back inside to the couch. In a U-shaped barndominium, that same Saturday afternoon looks different. The courtyard is 3 walls of building around a defined outdoor room. The wind does not find you the same way. The grandkids stay inside the natural boundary of it. Grandparents sit in the afternoon light, facing south, protected on 3 sides, without getting up to follow anyone. There is nowhere for the afternoon to leak away to. Jan Gehl, the Danish architect whose book Life Between Buildings has been required reading in architecture programs since 1971, spent decades documenting exactly this pattern across hundreds of residential and urban spaces. His finding was this: enclosure is what makes outdoor space habitable. Open space gets walked through. Enclosed space gets lived in. The geometry of containment changes what people do when they are outside. The courtyard is not a design feature. It is a room without a ceiling. Criterion 2, U-shaped. I want to be honest with you about something here. When I started researching this comparison, I assumed I would land somewhere in the middle. One shape wins on cost, the other on livability. You weigh your priorities, and that would be the end. That is the kind of balanced conclusion that makes for a satisfying video. But the more I dug into this, and I went fairly deep, including reading architectural research journals, I had no real business reading, I kept finding the same thing. Architects do not actually treat this as a close call. They treat it as a close call for their clients because their clients have budgets and lot constraints. But when you ask what they would build for themselves, the answer is remarkably consistent. What I could not get out of my head is this: that information exists. It is in the research. It is in the textbooks. It is in the conversations architects have with each other at industry conferences. It just never makes it into the builder brochures. There is a reason for that, and we are going to get to it. An L-shaped home has two primary exposures. Rooms in the interior corner frequently struggle with natural light, regardless of how carefully you orient the building. You can compensate with skylights and oversized windows, but you are always working against the geometry. A U-shaped home has 3 wings facing 3 different directions. Bedrooms can face east for morning light and slower wake-ups. Living spaces face south for passive solar heat in winter. The courtyard acts as a light well, bouncing daylight into rooms that would otherwise sit dim through the afternoon. Research published in Applied Energy found that courtyard configurations reduce cooling demand by 8 to 18% compared to linear home configurations, depending on courtyard geometry and orientation. That range reflects real variation because a shallow courtyard performs differently than a deep one, but the floor of that range, 8%, still shows up on your utility bill every month for the life of the house. Not a one-time number, a monthly one. Criterion 3, U-shaped. This is the criterion that matters most for the families watching this video, and it is the one almost no one talks about. Here is something worth knowing before we get into it. The standard floor plan packages that builders hand clients were largely developed for a 4-person nuclear family, 2 adults, 2 kids, 1 schedule. That model defined American residential design from the post-war era through the 1990s. The barndominium industry inherited those assumptions. Most spec plans you will see still reflect them. But according to the U.S. Census Bureau, multi-generational households, defined as 3 or more generations under one roof, have more than doubled since 1971 and now represent roughly 18% of the American population. The floor plans did not update, the families did. Multi-generational living works when privacy is structural. Not a door, not a hallway. The building itself creates separation without requiring anyone to announce they need it, negotiate for it, or feel guilty about wanting it. In an L-shaped barndominium, you have 2 wings, one for sleeping, one for living. For a couple, or for 2 adults on similar schedules, that split works well. The moment you add a 3rd generation, parents aging in, adult children returning, grandchildren who go to bed at 8 and wake up at 6, the L runs out of zones. 2 wings, 3 households. Someone is always in someone else's territory, and nobody can say exactly why the house feels crowded when there is technically plenty of room. A U-shaped home has 3 wings by definition, 1 for the primary couple, 1 for a parent or in-law, 1 for the adult kids who came back at 32 after the divorce and swore it was temporary. Everyone is fine with it. It just needs to work. The courtyard at the center is neutral ground, shared space that belongs to no one's private zone, which means it belongs to everyone's communal one. AARP's 2023 Home and Community Preferences Survey found that 64% of adults over 50 want a home that allows family members to live nearby, but independently. The U-shape is the only barndominium configuration that structurally delivers that without requiring anyone to compromise. Criterion 4, U-shaped, and it is not close. Before we get to costs, and we are absolutely getting there, I want to ask you something directly. If you have been through a builder consultation already, what shape did they recommend and why? Drop it in the comments. I am not asking for engagement. I have been tracking a specific pattern in how builders frame this conversation with clients. and I want to know if your experience matches what I keep hearing. Okay, cost. And the thing builders are not saying about it. One more thing before the cost conversation, because it connects to it. Aging in place. Not just will this home work for your parents, but will it work for you in 15 years? The U-shaped configuration has a structural advantage here that has nothing to do with courtyard aesthetics. When the time comes for grab bars, wider doorways, a walk-in shower on the main floor, those modifications stay contained within one wing. They do not announce themselves to the rest of the household. They do not require reconfiguring shared spaces. You are improving your wing. The rest of the home does not notice. In an L-shaped home, accessibility modifications propagate. A ramp at the main entry changes the entry for everyone. A main floor bedroom conversion affects the whole living zone relationship. The changes become a household conversation rather than a private one. The courtyard also functions as a protected walking loop, and designers mention this specifically. It is weather sheltered, within sight of the main living spaces, and usable even in winter with a simple covered walkway. It is a small thing that becomes a large thing at a certain point in life. The U-shape isn't just designed for the family you have now, it's designed for the version of you that's coming. Criterion 5, U-shaped. Here's the honest number. U-shaped barndominiums cost roughly 15 to 22% more to build than comparable L-shaped configurations. The National Association of Home Builders attributes that to additional roofline complexity, more exterior wall linear footage, and more involved foundation geometry. On a $400,000 project, that is $60,000 to $88,000. I'm not going to soften that, but here's what I want you to know about where that price difference comes from, because it's not just about your budget. A U-shaped build requires more framing coordination, more roofline transitions, and more subcontractor scheduling complexity. It takes longer to plan, longer to permit, and more experienced crews to execute well. An L-shaped build is simpler for the builder, faster, fewer things that can go wrong on their end. This is why builders steer clients toward L-shaped configurations in the initial consultation. Not because it's the wrong choice for you, sometimes it isn't, but because the conversation is easier, the timeline is shorter, and the margin is comparable. The honest recommendation and the convenient recommendation happen to be the same shape. That's worth knowing when you're sitting across from a builder who tells you the L shape is really the better fit for most families. If your budget has a hard ceiling and you're already at it, the U shape may genuinely not be accessible right now. That's a real constraint. But the resale premium on enclosed courtyard configurations in the rural luxury market is real. The energy savings compound over years, and the courtyard is functional square footage that does not appear on any floor plan. The U-shape is the better home. The L-shape may be the home you can actually build right now. Both things can be true. There's something that happens when you start looking at floor plans the way architects look at them. Most of us see rooms. A bedroom here, a kitchen there. We count square footage and hope the closets are big enough. Architects see movement. They see the path a body takes from the moment it wakes up to the moment it goes back to sleep. Where friction accumulates, where space opens, where people gather without being asked, and where they quietly avoid. I remember sitting with a stack of floor plans in February. I'd printed too many. They were everywhere. The kitchen table had basically become an architecture desk, and instead of counting the rooms, I started tracing the paths. And something about the L shape felt like a hallway that had developed ambitions, and something about the U shape felt like it had been organized around the people who would live there, rather than around the lot lines, the roof line, or the builder's schedule. I don't know if that's a poetic observation or just a practical one, maybe both. So, architects say only one actually works for how families live. They mean the U-shape. The U-shape wins in every category connected to how people actually behave over time. Traffic patterns, outdoor use, natural light, multi-generational privacy, aging in place. These are not spec sheet features. They are criteria that compound. The difference between a home that functions in year 1 and a home that still functions in year 20, when the family has changed 2 or 3 times, and the kids who were supposed to be temporary have become part of the structure. The L shape wins on cost, lot flexibility, and construction simplicity. For a small household with no near-term multi-generational plans, a narrower lot, or a genuinely constrained budget, the L shape is an excellent choice. Not a compromise. A real choice for a real situation. It's the wrong answer for families building for the long arc. Quick version before the close. Choose L-shaped if your lot is narrow or constrained, your budget is fixed near the ceiling, or you are building for 2 to 3 people with no near-term plan for extended family, aging parents, returning adult children, or anyone who might eventually need their own territory inside the same roof. Choose U-shaped. If you expect parents to age into the home within the next decade, adult children may return. You want a home that still works when the family configuration has completely changed. Or you want to actually use your outdoor space more than a few times a summer. Either shape, built well, is a remarkable home. Remember Nan in East Tennessee? She built an L-shaped. Her architect knew what the problem would be before the slab was poured. He could see it. 3 households, 2 wings, 1 kitchen, 1 entry, 1 set of desire lines, all crossing in the same place every morning before anyone had their coffee. He recommended the U-shape. She went with the L-shape because it was $70,000 less, because the lot felt not quite wide enough anyway, and because the builder said most families manage fine with it. Most families do manage fine with it. That part is true. Fine is not the same as designed for you. The U-shaped barndominium is not a luxury configuration. It is a home organized around the premise that multiple people with different needs are going to try to live well in the same structure at the same time, and that the building itself should help them do that, rather than requiring them to work around it. Most houses are not built that way. Most houses are built for an idealized version of a family, synchronized schedules, compatible morning rhythms, everyone needing the same level of privacy at the exact same moment. That family is a floor plan abstraction. It does not live anywhere. The U-shaped barndominium is built for the family you actually have. The one that changes. The one that shows up with 2 kids and a dog and swears it is just until spring. And somehow, the house holds all of it without anyone feeling like they have run out of room. That is what the shape is for. If you're at the floor plan stage right now, or just starting to figure out what shape makes sense for your land, drop the details in the comments. Include lot size, number of people, rough budget range, and whether extended family is in the picture at all. I read every comment, and if I see enough of a pattern, I will address it in a future video. And if this changed how you think about the decision, subscribe. More of this coming.